use this platform to share my research and our work. I also thank Dr. Anil Kumar Changani, who is chairing my talk, and I hope that I will fulfill his expectation from this talk. Thank you, sir. So, I'm going to talk about the Baloo. Every one of us, we have seen Mowgli, the series, and in Mowgli, there was an animal called Sloth Bear, and that Sloth Bear was helping that little guy, Mowgli, and it was named as Baloo. There were other creatures also like Bagheera, tiger like Sher Khan, and Tabaki, it was a hyena. So this is about these animals which is unappreciated, or we can say underappreciated. People generally don't like this guy because it attacks on human. People don't want to do research because it is not fascinating, it is very risky, and the authorities are not ready to fund because no one knows what these balus are doing in the forest. So it is very important to conserve this species, and why it is important to conserve sloth bear. This I am going to talk in this presentation. I am also going to talk about what we are doing and how we are helping the sloth bear conservation, how we are helping the people who are living in the sloth bear habitat. So those who are not much known with the species of bear, I just wanted to share this slide with all of you. There are 8 different species of bear. दुनिया में 8 तरह के भालू पाए जाते हैं. And out of these 8 species, our sloth bear is one. Out of these 8 species, 4 of them are found in India. That means our country is holding 4 species of bears out of the 8. That means we have 50% of bear species in our country, and that is why दुनिया के बाकी देशों से हमारी responsibility बढ़ जाती है. It is our responsibility to conserve these sloth bear. Now, what are these bears we found in our country? We have Asian black bear, which is known as the Himalayan black bear or Asiatic black bear. They generally found in the northern part of our country and northeast part of our country. Then we have the sloth bear, जिसके बारे में हम आज बात करेंगे. Sloth bear, you can see they are distributed across the country, but they are not found in the northern part and northeastern part. But whatever the lowland part of our country, like Gujarat, Rajasthan, Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh, Chhattisgarh, and up to the Kerala, we have this sloth bear. The third bear species in India, it is the brown bear, which is also known as the Himalayan brown bear. In Europe, they are known as the brown bear. In America, they are known as the grizzly bear. So they are the same, and that brown bear is just found over here in the Himalayas, and that is why they are known as the Himalayan brown bear. And the fourth one, you can see only in the northeastern part of our country, and this is the smallest bear species of all the bear species, which is known as the sun bear. बहुत छोटे हैं, but their tongue is very, very long. So this is the distribution of sloth bear in India. You can see the sloth bear are found across the country, यहाँ पे मैंने बताया. But if you see the real distribution of this guy, they are very fragmented. That means all these green dots are the sloth bear distribution, and all the yellow portion is the sloth bear habitat. So you can clearly see here the sloth bears are patchily distributed in our country. So there is a risk on the sloth bear habitat, because the habitat is degrading, habitat is fragmenting. What actually the sloth bear is, according to IUCN, International Union for Conservation of Nature, sloth bears are falling in the category of vulnerable. And vulnerable means if we don't conserve them, they are going to endangered. According to Indian Wildlife Protection Act, sloth bear are Schedule 1 animal species. That means the category of tiger, category of lion, category of elephant, the same category sloth bear is falling according to Indian Wildlife Protection Act. Now, why sloth bear are vulnerable? Sloth bears are vulnerable because their population is declining. Their population is decreasing. And why the population is decreasing? Somebody was asking in the morning to me that why sloth bear number are getting down. So these are the reasons: habitat loss, human and bear conflicts. Around 40 people in our country, they died just because of these sloth bear attacks, and more than 200 people get injured because of these sloth bear attacks. And this has actually increased the unappreciation of this animal from the people. Let us see what sloth bear are, where they live, what they do, what they eat, and we can have some idea about the sloth bear. And then I'll take you towards our conservation projects and our work that we are doing in the sloth bear. So we'll see about the habit and habitat of the sloth bear, their food and feeding habit, about the parental care, and the aggressiveness of this guy. Right? All these four things are make sloth bears unique than the other bear species. They are unique, they are different from the other bear species into their habit and habitat. They are unique and different than the other bear species according to their food and feeding habits. They are unique into the parental care, and they are very aggressive than the other bear species in the world. And these four categories make the sloth bear are as a unique bear species in the country, in the world. So this is how the sloth bear habitat looks. They live very close to the human habitat, and this is why there is a conflict, there is an interaction between the sloth bear and the human. This is, they are the lowland animal. They generally don't found on the higher altitude, but they generally found on the ground. So they are lowland bear species. They found in the dry deciduous forest. This is the forest of Ranthambore in Rajasthan. This is the forest of Gujarat, and this is the forest of Uttar Pradesh, Dudhwa National Park. So they are found in all kind of habitat. This is what I want to say. They found in the Tarai, Himalayan Tarai, and the green evergreen forest. They also found in the dry deciduous forest. They found in the degraded land. So these are different habitats they are adapted to. This is also a photograph from Gujarat, which is very close to Mount Abu Sanctuary. The sanctuary is a Jessore Sloth Bear Sanctuary, and there are also a good number of sloth bear found over here. This is from the central Gujarat, which is connecting to the Vindhya mountain range in the central part of Gujarat, called Ratan Mahal Wildlife Sanctuary. And again, there is good population of sloth bear over here. These are different sloth bear landscape I was talking about. Now, how they are different in their food and feeding habitat. They are very unique food and feeding habitat. If you closely look at the jaws of the sloth bear, and if you see the upper jaw, the two incisor, आगे के जो दांत होते हैं, they have permanently absent in the sloth bear. So these two teeth are permanently absent. And if you see the lower lip of the guy, the lower lip is making a pout-like structure. And because of this, in Germany, sloth bears are called as a lip bear or labiated bear. So now this spout-like structure of the lower lip and absence of two incisors make their mouth or snout as a straw. So it works as a straw, and their jaw muscles are very, very tight. So when they squeeze their jaw muscles, it will work as a suction machine. And because of this, with the help of these suction action, they generally suck their food. They don't eat, they don't cut the fleshes, they don't eat the fleshes, but they suck the food. So if there is a mechanism of sucking, the food also should be like, which could be sucked. And that is why sloth bears are not carnivore animal. They don't eat flesh, they don't eat human, they don't eat other animal, but they eat termites, ants, kide makode. They eat fruits, and they suck all the fruits which are juicy and which are sweet. So you can see clearly the straw-like structure over here and here. These are the jaws of the sloth bear. Now the straw is more clear here. And when they suck, their nostrils will automatically closed. This is the God-gifted mechanism of their feeding habit, because when they have to suck, they have to insert the mouth or insert the snout into the ground. So when they suck, there is a chance that if nostrils are open, the dust will go into the lungs. So अगर ये ना हो पाए, इसलिए there is a mechanism that the nostrils of sloth bears are like a slit, and when they suck, the nostrils are automatically closed. So there is no chance that dirt and dirts will go into the lungs of the sloth bear. These are the food. They eat all kind of ants, black ants, red ants, big ants, small ants. They eat fruits, juicy fruits. You can see jamun over here. You can see mahua. Mahua is also liked by us. like by the sloth bear, honeybee, berries, even the dates, date palms, ficus, figs, and all other kind of fruits. The fruits which are juicy, the fruits which are sweets, they are the food of the sloth bear. It's a small video, if you can see. You can easily recognize how the sloth bear eating the food. Is it visible? You can see the bear is sucking the food from here. They generally dig with their claws, their long claws, dig it, find the termites, and they suck. So these are the sloth bear diggings. This is from Maharashtra. When I was working in Maharashtra, this is a termite mound, and termite mound was digged by the sloth bear. You can see the entire person can sit into the digging. So they dig very big holes. These are the sloth bear digging for food. This is a photograph from Nepal. You can see this is a large termite mound in the Sal forest, and sloth bear is digging their food. Sloth bear is digging for termite. There's another good video you can see here where sloth bear is eating honey, and this is from the Milghat Tiger Reserve. And this is very interesting. This is a female, and the female is just breaking this honeybee comb, and the cubs are down. So to feed their cubs, they are breaking the honeybee, and you can see the way honeybee is hampering the sloth bear, the female, but she will cut and she will break the entire honeycomb for the cubs, which is down there waiting for the food. So this is how they eat the honey. And you can see in the parental care, sloth bears are on the number one, because apart from all other bear species, these guys, they generally the cubs are always riding on the mother's back. So when sloth bear gives birth to the young ones are very, very tiny, very, very small, and for at least for 1 year, the cubs are remaining with her mom. So they are not ready to walk, and that is why they generally riding on the mama's back. You can see here the tiny cub which is riding on the mama's back. The earlier photo was from Gujarat, and this photo is from Andhra Pradesh, from Jessore Sloth Bear Sanctuary. You can see the cub over here. They generally always go with the mom, and mom used to feed sloth bear, and mom used to teach them how to suck, how to eat, how to break the termite mound, how to climb a tree. All these things have to learn. And when the cubs becomes almost 1.5 or 2 years old, they generally get separated from her mom, and then they start their solitary life. They always find tigers, because tigers are fond of the sloth bear cubs. And that is why there is a fight between tiger and sloth bear. This is a very common YouTube video which is available on YouTube from from Tadoba National Park, where sloth bear are trying to protect themselves from the tiger, but they are always unknown. When they are eating, when they are feeding their food, they are not known about their surrounding. आगे पीछे क्या हो रहा है उसको कुछ पता नहीं, वो सिर्फ खाता रहता है. You can see this female is eating continuously, and tiger is watching it from here. They are not scared. They are not cared. आजू बाजू में क्या है उसको कुछ पता नहीं. Yeah. So अभी आप देखिए, tiger is trying to approach the sloth bear. साव जब तक नजदीक नहीं पहुंच जाता, sloth bear को कुछ पता नहीं है. And suddenly she will know, oh, this is a tiger. See. अभी sloth bear तो खाता ही रहता है. And then, yeah, tiger को भगा दे. He's scaring tiger because the reason is they are aggressive, and to show them that they are very large, they are aggressive, what they do, whenever they come across any large animal like us, tiger or elephant, they generally stand on the 2 feet. Yeah, so they will look larger, they will see themselves larger, and the people and the other animal will get afraid, and they afraid over here. You can also see the aggressiveness of this animal. They are very aggressive, and according to one of our research, they are aggressive compared to grizzly bears and American black bears. They are 10 times aggressive than the grizzly bear. They are 20 times aggressive than the black bear and the polar bear. Their aggressiveness is mostly vast majority of the grizzly attacks, and the attacks, most attack of the sloth bear, it is on the face of the animal or on the neck of the, because they stand on their 2 feet, and that is why they generally attack over here, here or here. Their attacks are deadly. You can see they remove the eyes, open the skull. They also attacks on the chest. And 60% of the sloth bear attacks or human bear conflicts is just because of the sloth bear attacks on the human. Out of this 60%, we can say 200 cases in India, and 60% of them are from the non-protected area, which is not declared as a sanctuary or not declared as a national park. That means sloth bears are equally found in the protected as well as in the non-protected areas. 30% of the sloth bear attacks are from the villages, around the villages, because sloth bears are attracted by the human food. And that is why wherever the villages, wherever the people are living, sloth bear are there to attack on the people. So what are the major challenges to conserve this species? Why this is very fascinating species, and sloth bear are only found in the Indian subcontinent. Out of the entire world, they are found on only 3 countries: India, Nepal, and Sri Lanka. So these are the 3 countries where sloth bear are found in the world. They were found in Bangladesh, they were found in Bhutan, but because of the unappreciation and ignorance, the sloth bear are now disappeared from Bangladesh, they disappeared from Bhutan. So what are the challenges? One is the lack of trained staff. The forest field staff, they are not much trained to monitor the sloth bear, to rescue the sloth bear, and to raise the sloth bear. Lack of awareness among the people, and they are not appreciated because of the human sloth bear conflicts. There is no rapid rescue unit or response unit from the forest department which can handle the human sloth bear conflict situation. No proper guidelines to deal with the conflicts, because we have guidelines from government, we have guidelines for tigers, we have guidelines for elephants, we have guidelines for leopards, but we don't have such guidelines in case of the sloth bear. Major attention is given on the tigers, elephant, lion in India, but nobody is caring for the sloth bear. So they are unappreciated among the people and neglected by the authority. These are the reason why there is a need to raise awareness, need to raise the conservation, or need to do conservation of sloth bear. What we can do is, we can start the bear education and outreach, conservation corridors within the fragmented habitat. We can declare the areas as a bear sensitive area, so we can reduce the human sloth bear conflicts. We can do some capacity building programs for the field staff. We can also train the researcher to do sloth bear research. We can also ask government to initiate the rapid response unit. We can encourage the research and monitoring work on the sloth bear. We can ask the government to formulate the proper guidelines for the sloth bear conservation. So I would just wanted to tell you about our project, our sloth bear conservation work, which we have done and which we are doing actually in Gujarat. And you can see here, these are the area where more human and sloth bear conflicts are prevailing. So this is the problem, the hostile nature of local due to prevalent sloth bear attacks. So people living over here, they generally don't appreciate this animal. And you can see in last 10-20 years, the sloth bear attacks are almost in an increasing phase. So what solution we found or we are working on is to have the cross-sector collaboration. So we are collaborating with the forest department, we are collaborating with the school, we are collaborating with the local villagers, and we are doing these three activities to increase the positive attitude of local, to decrease the conflict of sloth bear and human, and to increase the tolerance of people for the sloth bear. So this all can lead to the sloth bear conservation in our state. We have started a project which called Atmavat Sarva Bhuteshu, and with our several partners. The partners are Bear Trust International, Serenity Trust of Ahmedabad, IUCN Sloth Bear Expert Team, and International Bear Association. So these are our four important partners. They are helping us by financial as well as technical help, and we have started this project since 2018. The name of the project is Atmavat Sarva Bhuteshu. That means we are part of our world. Under this project Atmavat Sarva Bhuteshu, we have started awareness and knowledge dissemination program for the sloth bear. We have started drawing attention of Government of India, Government of Gujarat, and through a global coverage we started gaining knowledge from them, because conservation is not a one-way process, it is a two-way process. We have to gain knowledge from them, from the people, and we have to give scientific knowledge to the people. So giving and taking is a two-way process. Without this two-way process, I think conservation is not possible. So you have to equally work with the local community. So what we have done, that we are going to the school, tribal school, the people, the children who are living with the sloth bear, we try to learn from them. We try to know from them that what actually they know about sloth bear. And these kids are very shy, the tribal people are very shy. वो खुल के बात नहीं करते. तो we have taken the advantage of the COVID period, जब कोई किसी से मिल नहीं रहा था. So at that time we have organized a story writing competition among the tribals. We asked them to write a story on sloth bear and send it to us. So by this we can know about their knowledge, we can know what they think about sloth bear. So we use those story, we rank them into first number, second number, and third number, and then we converted this story into the animation film, we converted that story into the comic book, we converted the story into a storytelling work, and then the same story we are telling to the kids. So we can, when we know from them, we correct their knowledge, and we give the scientific or true knowledge to the kids. So these works we are going. And we have advised the Gujarat Forest Department to restrict the human activities in the conflict zone, because the conflict zone we already identified, to regulate regular monitoring of the sloth bear movements in the sloth bear area, so we can alarm the people, we can tell the people that don't go during this time, don't go in the forest in this area, don't go in the forest during this time, and they can save from the sloth bear. And we have started the awareness programs. So this is what everything that we are doing in the nutshell about the project Atmavat Sarva Bhuteshu. We are believing in science-based conservation actions. When we add science to the conservation becomes more longer. It will live for a longer life. We have started bear safety education among the kids. We have started capacity building of forest staff, field staff, as well as the researchers or the college student. And we are also trying to involve the local youth as a volunteer in our project, so they can also know and they can disseminate the knowledge about the sloth bear. Research and dissemination. So whatever we do research, I don't believe in publishing a very high impact factor journals or publishing my papers into a high impact factor journal, but I think that whatever research that I have done, it should go up to the community. This is what the role of a scientist. So that this dissemination work we have started, And these are the different organizations who are collaborating with us in this project Atmavat Sarvabhutesh. What happened in after 2 years when the COVID ends? This is what about the animation film